Hey everybody, Home/Henry here, and today I'm going to be talking about the upcoming Team Go Rocket event. And this is, in my view, probably the best event that Niantic has ever held for Pokemon Go. We got some information on the event a few weeks back, but now we have the full details, and it is everything we could ever hope for, and then some. To start off with, the new Pokemon releases Shadow Palkia, and there is going to be this new Pokemon as well. It looks like Shroodle. Shroodle, not going to do much from a PvP perspective. Shadow Palkia, not going to do much from a PvP perspective either. But that's not why I am so excited. Obviously, with the event, as is standard, there's going to be a lot more Team Go Rockets at Pokestops, and you'll get a balloon every 2 hours. And you can help your Shadow Pokemon not have frustration with a Charge TM. So overall, pretty standard stuff here. The first very good thing is the new Shadow Pokemon. Shadow Superior should be a very good pick for the Open Great League, on par or maybe even a little bit better than the regular Superior. So Shadow Snivy here, an incredible addition. Also, on top of this, Shadow Bunnelby, Shadow Diggersby, and potentially Purified Diggersby with Return both look to be very nice side grades to potentially slightly better than their original forms. So two very meta Pokemon being released right away. Outside of this, Oshawott, you can always grab a Shadow Samurott on the off chance that they do allow us to evolve Oshawott into Hisui Samurott at some point in the future, so it will be worth grabbing one of those. The rest are more so just things you can grab for fun, but not really meta relevant. Now, the big news that absolutely shook me about this event is to do with Shadow Raids. So, in Shadow Raids, in the 1-star raids, there's Shadow Nidoran Female, Shadow Nidoran Male, Shadow Totodile, and Shadow Ralts. Of course, Shadow Ralts, Shadow Gardevoir, a very good raid attacker, and Shadow Feraligatr, an incredibly good Great League and Ultra League Mon. And in 3-star raids, Electabuzz, Magmar, and Wobbuffet. But this is the big info we just got today. For the first time in Pokemon Go, remote raid passes can be used to participate in Shadow Raids during the event. This is massive. This is everything people have been asking for. They've been saying the Shadow Raids are very difficult if you don't have a local community. So let us invite people. And for the first time ever, we are actually going to be able to use remote raid passes to participate in Shadow Raids. Now, if you're a PvPer like myself, this next bit is even better. Pokemon caught via 1-star and 3-star raids during the event will have a wider variance of attack, defense, and HP. Typically, this means there's not going to be an IV floor, which means if you're hunting for a Shadow Feraligatr, you can actually get a very good rank Feraligatr, as normally the Shadow Raids are capped, where the Shadow Raids have an IV floor of 6 or higher, which makes it hard to get a good PvP IV one. And also, Pokemon caught via 5-star Shadow Raids may have higher attack, defense, and HP. So my guess is they might take the Shadow Ho-Oh, which I believe is going to be in raids at the time, and make it have an IV floor of 10. Again, that's more of a guess, but they actually listened. I am flabbergasted. Niantic listened, and this event looks to be incredible. For those, like myself, who are always short on Charge TMs, there'll be field research tasks to get Charge TMs. These are usually a Purify 3 task, so best way to do is as you're doing a bunch of Shadows, you're just going to want to try and get a bunch of 1,000 Dust to Purify Mons, and then once you have 3 tasks, you can just Purify 3 and then get your 3 Charge TMs. The next piece of information I have to go over is the new Rocket Leaders. And oh my goodness, they are spoiling us with this event. So not only do we have some pretty meta Shadows being released, we have remote raidable Shadow Raids. Shadow Cubone is back, and I am so unbelievably happy about it. Shadow Cubone, of course, evolves into Shadow Kanto Marowak, a Pokemon that has won regional championships. It is dominatingly powerful, and it hasn't been available for many years, which means if you don't have one from like 2022 or 2021, you were just out of luck. Well, it's back. And That's what Cliff's going to have. Sierra is going to have Shadow Scorpy, which evolves to Shadow Drapion. Drapion, of course, a top meta pick in the Great League and the Ultra League, and the Shadow has been gone for a while as well. So right off the bat, an amazing, amazing leader rotation here. On top of these are all pretty good shinies, but they're very meta relevant, at least what Sierra and Cliff have. Arlo always kind of has the trash one, and here has Shadow Alolan Grimer. Honestly, it's not meta in either league, but it's still a fine PvP mon. It's not like a terrible one, and overall the shinies are great, so even if you don't care about PvP, this is a good shiny rotation. So overall, an unbelievably good rotation. Another thing that I will have to cover is there are some shadows that have been gone for absolute ages that are making their return. The first one, this is one that I actually do not have a single one in my Pokemon storage. That is Shadow Horsey. With the event, which I will actually go back here so we can verify the exact start time on the event. It's Wednesday, January 15th at midnight, and it runs through Sunday. So even if you are busy with work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this event still goes throughout the weekend as well. So you'll hopefully have the ability to go out and grind some of these shadows. Because not only are the regular shadows worth grinding because there's all of this new stuff, but as well, once you get those rocket radars from beating 6 shadows, the bosses are incredibly meta relevant as well. So it's just overall an incredibly, incredibly good event. On top of that as well, it's not just Horsey coming back. A shadow Pokemon that hasn't been back in years makes its return, Shadow Sfeel. Shadow Walrein is still a very solid Pokemon for the Great League and the Ultra League. It's now moved into more of an anti-meta role, but it's still a very strong pick, and early reports out of New Zealand, the first time zone to get access to this, has confirmed Horsey and Shadow Sfeel are back. And that is an unbelievably big win for the PvP community. And finally, if you thought we were done, we are somehow still not done, because they are treating us in this event. There's going to be a Shadow Raid Day this weekend, and that's going to be Sunday from 2 to 5. You get 5 additional free passes from spinning gyms for a total of 7, increased chance of shiny Shadow Ho-Oh, and you will be able to remote raid the Shadow Ho-Ohs as well, which is incredibly nice. So all in all, we're off to a truly incredible start, and you will actually be able to use a regular charge TM to teach Ho-Oh Sacred Fire. So if you catch it and it doesn't have Sacred Fire, you can just use a regular charge TM. You don't have to use an Elite TM, which is very nice. But yeah, my goodness, this is just unbelievably good stuff from Niantic, which feels a bit weird to say because their track record as of late has not been the greatest. I do want to go through and provide some feedback on what I believe should be your top targets for this event. There's so much going on that it can feel a little bit overwhelming, so I'm going to provide kind of a detailed list of what I believe are the most important Pokemon to get. The first one is going to be Shadow Feraligatr. If you don't have a Shadow Feraligatr already, for both the Great League and the Ultra League, that should be your top priority in this event. Shadow Totodile is going to be in 1-star raids. It's going to be remote raidable, so that way even if you're not able to go out in person, you'll still be able to do it, but obviously if you are, then you can just use a regular raid pass. Shadow Feraligatr, number 6 in the Great League. As we go to the Ultra League, it's number 1. It's just a must-have Pokemon. So if you don't have one, that's definitely going to be pretty much an immediate massive priority. Another one that's going to be very, very good to get, and this is one of the newer ones, and that's going to be the Shadow Diggersby. Let's move over here to the Great League. Diggersby, the regular version is ranked number 5, the Shadow is ranked number 20. So the Shadow should put in some very nice work. Now granted, I take these rankings with a little bit of salt because it is a computer's best estimation about what's going to be the best. But Shadow Diggersby in the simulations does look very strong. So I think getting a good PvP IV Shadow Diggersby will definitely be very beneficial. In addition as well, Shadow Superior. Shadow Superior, the simulations show that it's quite a bit worse, but looking at it on paper, it should perform fairly similarly to the regular, and there can be some situations where the Shadow is preferred. So grabbing a Shadow Superior also going to be very helpful. And in addition, if you did not manage to get a Shadow Walrein or a Shadow Kingdra the last time they were out, I would also recommend getting those. Those aren't as high of priority as these ones, but they're still very good ones to have. Like Kingdra, for example, very low in the Open Great League. But as we go to Color Cup, I mean, granted, it's ranked very low here, but anyone who's played Color Cup knows Shadow Kingdra absolutely runs that meta. It is unbelievably good, so it's a very good limited meta mon. So if you already have all those top meta picks and you don't have the Kingdra, that's one I'd focus on, because Kingdra's a really good one. And finally, Shadow Walrein. Shadow Walrein still ranked very highly, number 67 in the Open Great League, and in the Ultra League, it's ranked number 51. So Walrein, Shadow for both Great and Ultra, it hasn't been available in several years, so if you have the others and you don't have the Walrein, make sure to pick up that Walrein as well, because, man, there is a lot going on in this Shadow event, but I'm happy, and I like having reasons to be happy. And Niantic finally listening, bringing back a ton of meta-relevant stuff, introducing new meta-relevant stuff, giving us remote raidable Shadow Raids, and removing the IV floor. They are doing a whole lot of listening right now, and I am a big fan of it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, my second channel, More Slice Henry, if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in the next one.